Taylor Bruce, who was open carrying a pistol in Washington, D.C., and believes that doing so was lawful, and today his charges were completely overturned. So we're going to talk to him about that.
All right, how you doing?
So can you tell me, just in your own words, what happened on November 5th of 2016? Why were you out there? And then what happened today?
So November 5th is the Guy Fawkes Million Mass March. It's held by an activist group called Anonymous. And I completely support the idea of challenging the status quo of government. I think it's one of the biggest things that individuals in America can do today to prevent certain things being held against them. So during that day, my specific goal was to challenge the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve prints money from thin air, and they've been doing so ever since 1920, where a group of businessmen who owned 1/4 of the world's wealth got together and decided to create a central bank. And its goals were to print money from nothing, basically to rule out any other banks that challenged them, and to push any debts to the public. So that day I went there, and in Virginia, from where I'm from, we have open carry, which is completely constitutional. It's held amongst your rights with free speech, freedom of religion, so it's got to be pretty important. If you look actually into the founding reasons of why we have that, it's actually to challenge the government once more. So this was right up the alley of doing so. However, that wasn't my intent. It was simply there because I always carry it and entered DC unknowingly of the gun charges. However, it was a great opportunity for me to actually challenge it directly. Before I got to the protesters, I was actually arrested and unassociated with what was going on. Just a masked man wearing a mask with a pistol near the White House come to assassinate the president, and here's this terrorist. And that's a really dangerous thought, to know that our government is basically telling us, hey, your ideals are the terrorists. Your ideas are potentially terrorist.
So to be clear, you were what exactly was it you were doing, and then what did the police do to respond to it?
So what I was doing is I was basically walking along the road here with a sign that said every dollar printed is worth less than the last one. And it's a pretty funny sign. And I was walking along with my girlfriend and a 6-year-old. And as I'm walking along to go meet the protesters on the other side, I get ambushed from behind. There was really no alert of what was going on. And next thing I know, I'm face down on the ground and getting questioned of who I'm voting for, which, by the way, is against the Hatch Act. But since there's so many rules and laws, we don't even know. Even our own police don't even know that.
And then my understanding is the police also approached your girlfriend?
Yeah. Oh, so yes. So my girlfriend was approached, and they pull out of her bag a pocket knife, which was this long, and they said, we're going to get you for this, and we need to go search your car, and if you say it was on him, then, if you can just testify it was on him, then we'll let it all go. So it was pretty much extortion of her, and, she was in a really heightened mental state, so she didn't know what to do.
Right, and so you were detained for some period of time, and then tell me about both your detention and the legal situation that followed.
So I was detained for a week, where they basically put me in front of a judge, and as the prosecutor continues to make this claim that I'm a terrorist threat, kind of shoots through the water when I say, hold on now, sir, I'm with my girlfriend and my 6-year-old. So that becomes kind of shot through. When you're sitting here trying to say I'm assassinating someone, you don't exactly bring along your family with you. So the judge recognized that, and she said, okay, so we're going to let you go, and it's going to be put through grand jury on a decision of when the trial date will be set, and you're going to check in once a week. But other than that, don't come back to D.C.
Right. And so you were initially charged with several charges, and then those have kind of been whittled away, right? Can you tell me about basically that procedure?
So some of them were a little ridiculous. One of the charges were resisting arrest, which actually has to fall through when you get attacked by an ambush from behind. For one, you don't really know who's ambushing you from behind, so your natural response is like, what the hell? Secondly, another one was, which one I don't really understand, was unregistered ammunition. That is a very strange law. Why would you register your ammunition? Secondly, or thirdly, not resisting arrest. The last one was wearing a mask while committing a crime. Well, really, no crime was committed here. I'm walking along, peaceful protest. The definition of crime really should be injuring another person or injuring another person's property. That's actually the original concept of a crime. So just walking down the street, it kind of...
Right, but so they dropped those three already before today.
So the last thing that was left was carrying a pistol without a license, in which, yes, I did not have a license in D.C. And in Virginia, you do not have to actually have a license. You can actually openly carry as long as it's not concealed.
Right. But so under DC law, that was considered illegal, though, to open carry.
Well, see, under DC law, which has to be compliant with Supreme Court rulings, it also has to be compliant with our original Constitution, which is the laws against the government, that the government cannot do against the people. So theoretically, the law itself was unconstitutional. And that's already been proven today, which is why the case got dismissed because of Wren versus DC, which was a 2-to-1 ruling that DC law is in fact unconstitutional.
So walk me through what actually happened today. What was it that was sort of said in the courtroom before you came out and talked to me?
So what was said today was, your lawyer's not here, which they weren't. But no, basically they said, judge looked me square in the eye and said, there's a law that's went through with they're challenging the constitutionality of this case, and your case is dismissed based on that alone, which is really a beautiful thing when the laws put in place prevent other tyrannous laws from taking place.
Mm-hmm. And so what is your kind of path going forward? Has this changed your trajectory in activism? Will you be at the next Million Mask March?
I will always be there when there is a need to speak out, when there is a need to address people doing the wrong things. See, Snowden said something beautiful in an interview. He said, illegal and legal don't get to take over what is right and wrong. So we really have to do our own research and ask ourselves what is right and what is wrong. What are the purposes of the laws being passed? Are they for the people, or are they for the businesses, for corporations? Or are they against the people?
And so any predictions for Million Mask March this coming November?
My prediction is going to be awesome as always, and make a splash and definitely get more people there. It needs to get a bigger concept. It's global, and it needs to be nationwide here.